Welcome to Culture Bank's Game Changers. I'm Corey Hale, joined by the one, the only Dan Roberts. Dan, you are looking mighty fresh in this leather jacket.
I saw the pink earlier. I was like, I gotta catch up.
Well, I mean, we're definitely feeling the drip over here, so we appreciate you coming through like this.
Thank you.
As always, we are bringing you the most interesting companies and the entrepreneurs behind them that are truly changing the game.
Today we're discussing footwear with the founder of Rebecca Allen Shoes. She brings the nudes of all different colors for the working woman. And then after that, we have the founder of Orhue coming by. He's going to tell us how he connects African business owners, particularly those in the fashion industry, to consumers. But hold tight, and before we do that, we have to tell you guys what is the best news that you should be aware of this week as an entrepreneur.
Healthcare still remains a top issue for most small businesses. A recent poll found 31% of these business owners agree on the importance of healthcare, but Dan, they are still actually grappling with the high cost and how to be able to provide quality coverage for their employees. And it's not just healthcare. The second biggest concern weighing on small business owners, do you know what that is?
What is it?
Happens to be tax reform.
Oh, wow. So this is an issue that's been going on, an ongoing discussion for years. Way back during my time in the Obama administration, we talked about healthcare, particularly from the Obamacare and a lot of the rules and regulations. People have to make sure they have healthcare or they'll be taxed. So it's interesting that this still is coming on. But we talk about, people having to have healthcare, but who's paying for it? They're being subsidized by their employer. So a lot of small businesses are really having to foot a huge bill to make sure that their employees are being taken care of.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's expensive when you're a small business, even though we do have healthcare.gov and there are the exchanges. I mean, a lot of that is changing, and small business owners, they do feel as though they have responsibility to their employees. And it's not so much that they don't want to, but it's hard to be able to make enough revenue to sustain your business and provide good quality coverage.
Amazon is expanding its cashier-less technology to Whole Foods as it further revolutionizes its big industry by giving consumers more options. With more brick-and-mortar stores, they're discovering exactly how technology can replace humans. Kind of scary, right? It may be time for businesses to adopt similar tech investments if they want to keep up with the game.
It's very, very important. The reason, though, that you want to follow sort of what the big tech giants, the big retail disruptors like Amazon is doing, because when Amazon leads, the rest of the big box stores follow, like Walmart, Best Buy, Target. All of them are going to be following suit. So if you are a small business boutique owner, let's say, or maybe you own your own print shop, the list goes on and on. You want to really kind of check into what technology these big companies are saying this is going to be the future of how consumers shop and the way that we go out and acquire goods and services. And you want to make sure that you put some money into that ahead of time so that you're not further left behind, especially to your point, as machines, as robots become a bigger, have a bigger stake in what goes on in day-to-day business.
Totally.
Next up, finding shoes in just your shade. Keep it locked right here with Culture Bank's Game Changers.
Welcome back to Game Changers. Our first guest has created the perfect nude shoe for anybody, whether it's work or play. Joining us now is Rebecca Allen, CEO of Rebecca Allen Shoes. Thanks so much for having us and joining us with us.
Thanks for having me. Hi.
Yes. So, first question. There's so many trends going on right now. We have spikes, we have platinum shoes. Why'd you choose nude, and tell us about your company?
Sure. So nude, less than a trend, more something that's just been here forever. I used to work in finance, and every woman in my office, or should I say every white woman in my office, was wearing this nude shoe, and I, for the life of me, couldn't find my nude. As you might imagine, it's a very different nude, and I just felt like, why was I waiting around for someone else to make this for me? Started tinkering around, and we just launched early in 2018 with a first style, making timeless styles in all 5 shades. So really complimenting everyone from someone with a dark complexion to someone very fair, everybody in between, and making that seamless leg look so that you can wear it with everything. Everything.
Yeah, well, that's what we working women need. I mean, myself, obviously coming from the big financial Wall Street institutions, completely understand. So what really went into, though, actually crafting the shoes? How did you decide on what the exact 5 nudes were going to be?
Sure. So I had a ton of swatches. It must have been like 80 on just a bunch of different pieces of paper. And I carried them around with me for weeks and actually was just using friends, strangers, and looking to match up as many women as possible. So, naturally, it's not a perfect match for everybody, but it's not like foundation where it needs to be perfect, but we were really trying to capture across the spectrum for as many people as possible. And 5 was kind of this, it was enough, but it wasn't too many, right? Because we're managing inventory too. You can't do like 40 shades.
Yeah, you can only do so much.
Right.
So on your website, you mentioned that the nude shoe allows you to make one less choice in the morning. So do you consider yourself a minimalist, or do you think people just have too many options?
No, I think it just helps you streamline things. I like loved wearing color, but not as evidenced by today, but but I could never wear it because then I'd be looking for this shoe, right? Like this elusive kind of shoe to go with it. But now, if you want to wear a bold pattern, but you're looking for that perfect complement for it, this is like everything. Or like a navy suit, right? Just kind of, whether it's something classic and timeless or something more punchy, you can always make it work with a nude.
All right, right now, Rebecca, your shoe line is B2C. So when our viewers go out and they want to get a pair of Rebecca Allen shoes, what is the best way for them to go about doing that?
Sure. So go to our website. It's rebecca-allen.com. Follow us on Instagram. We're at Rebecca Allen NY. And tell all your friends.
No, that's right. Oh, price point. Because I think about nudes, and I know the super high-end luxury side has been doing that, brands like Christian Louboutin, but this is in a much more affordable, as I like to say, working woman price point.
Yes, yeah, and that was something that was super important for me when I was launching, right? Like making a shoe that was luxury adjacent, right? Super high quality, which they are. It's 100% leather construction. Knowing that I was putting a great product out into the market was first and foremost the priority. But after that, because we're direct to consumer, we can kind of pass some of that savings on to the end customer. And so our first style, which is this timeless pump, retails for $250. We followed that up with the launch of this sandal, publicist approved, editor approved. Women just love this. This retails for $265. And then our flat, which literally every time I wear it, people ask me where did I get them, which is a very gratifying question to receive. Right. And these retail for $225. Okay. But I think sit it next to a Stuart Weitzman and LK Bennett, really hitting on quality. And for Louboutin, I was also asking myself, like, why are men owning the women's shoe department? Like, why? Like,
that's a good question.
And kind of fetishizing women's feet. So anyway, we're here for women, specifically women of color, and as a Black woman, being able to speak to that customer and be a reflection of that customer is, at the heart of all of this.
Amazing. Well, I would say these are fabulous. I'll be getting my mom and some of my close friends a few pair for Christmas.
Yeah, I'll send you a discount code.
Hopefully they're not watching the show so they can be surprised.
I mean, yeah, don't tune out, Mom.
Right.
But thank you so much for joining us, Rebecca. Rebecca Allen shoes are incredible, and we're happy you've come by.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up, the marketplace connecting African fashion to the rest of the world. Stay right here with Culture Bank's Game Changer. Welcome back to Culture Bank's Game Changers. Our next guest has created a centralized platform for people to purchase and experience the best fashion out of Africa. Joining us now is Bradley Umaigba, CEO of Orhue. Bradley, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I would like to say, I really like this drip right here. Is this Orhue?
Yes, this is.
Oh, okay. So this is something that you designed? Is it something that you worked with some of the fashion designers out of Africa for?
It was a collaboration we did with one of the brands that we stock from Africa. And yeah, it was an amazing fall collection that we recently just introduced into Orhue, which are things that we plan to do going forward, to work with different African fashion brands and give them some form of capital to be able to do more than they do. And this was our first collection, and it was great.
So Orhue just kind of like rolls off the tongue. It's kind of sleek, kind of chic. So tell us, what's the inspiration behind it?
was in 2016 when I moved to the US and New York to be precise, and I was going around different stores where I normally shop, and I found that there were so many African-inspired designs. However, being in Africa so long enough, I know that there are a lot of indigenous African designers, but they never get an opportunity to, put these things further than just their local communities. And so I thought if these people had a fair chance to even compete, maybe that way it'll help everybody involved in the business one way or another. And so I started thinking of Orhue.
Awesome. But there's a meaning behind the actual name, right?
Yeah, that's very accurate. It's named after my sister, and which is something that we also do. She suffers from Down syndrome, and so we wanted to give back as much as we could. And so 10% of our revenue goes to funding different Down syndrome projects in Africa, because they don't have the same platform like every other developed country has. So we thought it would be important to be able to empower those people who are doing things already.
Okay, Orhue, though, right now, as a marketplace, is a direct business-to-consumer model, right? You talked about collaborating with other African brands. Is there going to be a point in time where you think you will move beyond just the digital realm and actually move into physical brick-and-mortar locations?
Yeah, that's absolutely something that I've envisioned, and I would be so happy to be able to accomplish that in the next 2 years, hopefully. One of the main things that we wanted to do, not just have a platform, but was to represent a lot of these brand PR-wise. Just recently, we secured some Hollywood clients, which went on our platform and picked several pieces from different brands that he doesn't know anything about, but he wants to wear them on a show that he does in Hollywood. And those are things that we feel like it gives these people an opportunity that and they're not paying me for the PR, but it was just one of the things that I felt that they deserved in terms of trying to not just sell, but also promote their brands and the work that they do.
Is it more, I guess the better way of asking that, is it harder as an online sort of retail platform to really reach a very specific targeted audience when it comes to fashion? Because there are so many brands online constantly trying to get in front of people. Obviously, though, what you have is super unique.
Yeah, I think the competition is a lot, but I think one of the most important things that we did based off the research that we did was that a lot of the platforms that even exist in the moment, and a simple one would be Amazon, they collect African products based off, let's say you're a seller on Amazon and you go to Africa and you buy some pieces and then you go there and sell. But we don't only sell products, we sell the brands. So we're saying, come and see this new designer who is doing amazing work, and these are the collections that he did whatever season. And so we're doing both selling the products and the brand. So I think that makes us slightly unique compared to what is out there at the moment.
Yeah, that is powerful on so many levels.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you so much for joining us. That's Bradley Umaigba from Orhue.
And stick with us on Game Changers as we explain how to build the startup culture that is absolutely perfect. Welcome back to Culture Bank's Game Changers. Founders are typically so busy building their startups that they underestimate the value of company culture.
Right.
It's not just about office game rooms, free snacks, even though I like those, or happy hours. It's about how your team works together.
It's very important, right, to have that sort of inclusivity within your team. Founders have to build companies, though, based on their strengths and their values. That's super important. So if your startup is built around design, or let's say something like sales, then focus on that, because you're going to instinctively know what to do and how to build a great company and team around you.
And what's really important is to define your company's values early on and talk about them often. Yeah. Establishing what's most important about the business is the best way to set you and your employees up for team success. There's nothing wrong with a lot of turn up here and there, but let's find new ways to do it, whether it's in the office, outside the office. Make sure that people are really enjoying coming to work.
It's super duper important. All right, that's all we have time for. I'm Corey Hale.
I'm Dan Roberts.
All right, make sure you check out all of the savvy business news specifically for the culture at culturebanks.com. And thanks so much for soaking in how to find your right shade of footwear with Rebecca Allen, and of course, those super drippy clothes from Orhue.
Catch next week's episode of Game Changers, which is always available on Roku, Apple TV, and Verizon. And until then, keep building for the culture.